Hello everybody, it's Aaron here once more again, and today for all of you another Gunpla review, as finally getting around to doing the review of the Gundam X Maoh from Gundam Build Fighters, piloted and created by the famous Gunpla builder Maoh, who we do see wielded during the events of Gundam Build Fighters in like episode 10, when both him, Sei, and Renji basically fight against the Alferes, and Maoh brings out the full power of the satellite system using his Gundam X Maoh, and then later down the line, it's either episode 14 or 15, or is it episode 13? I forget which one. Where it's basically Sei and Renji versus Maoh, and they both bring out the full powers of both Maoh's Gundam X Maoh and the Starbill Strike. But without further ado, let's dive right in with what the Gundam X Maoh comes with. And we are back in this everything the Gundam X Maoh comes with. Now before we go with all of its weaponry, let's do a little bit overview of the Gundam X. So, looking pretty nice. Now I will say that you're probably wondering what's the difference between the Gundam X and the Gundam X Maoh. Well, a lot of the differences between the Gundam X and versus the X Maoh. If I do actually do a little video editing, I'll probably put like a little picture right here of the regular Gundam X right here, and then the X Maoh on the side. But the difference between both of them is basically the shoulders pads replaced to have more of the satellite system up there. As you can see that with the grooves, because there should be stickers right here, now that I'm remembering. But I never did use the stickers where the shoulder parts go in here and whatnot, because I was going to paint that into kind of like a little silver chrome, which I still probably will do afterwards. Same thing with the waist. Waist is here. Also has like more stuff for the satellite system that should have stickers in there, but I didn't do it because the sticker should be like a, not a purple. It should be like a violet or lavender color. If you actually seen the pictures for it, kneecaps has also been upgraded too, with a little bit more hard points, a little bit more armor. So for the satellite system, you can see right here, it's actually got shoulder guards. The original Gundam X does not have like the band brace guards right here. You can see right here. What's it called? Also got still leg attachment points, but actually right here actually does have some attachment points that can actually attach the weapon pods that it does carry, which we'll see in a second. The back side is also a little bit different too, a little bit more thrusters, and like I said before, where the sticker should be here is where the whole satellite system, because this thing's supposed to basically absorb the sun for the satellite system so it can use the full powered satellite system. That's the one difference between the regular Gundam X and the Gundam X Maoh. As the Gundam X Maoh was basically modified and created to fully use the whole satellite system. As you can see, with the whole design was it all, and also the head, the refrain, I think is also different too. Overall, pretty nice. And now going off with the weaponry as well. Going off with this main rifle shields, which has the two different modes. Shield mode, which is basically right here, basically guard it by itself and swap out. You can also still use it to shoot. I kind of have it for dual wielding. Then you have regular rifle mode. After the shield mode actually collapses into itself. You can see right here the difference between shield mode and non-shield mode. But you can actually have them both for separated in case you like going double. Just like one for offense and one for defenses, which is actually not bad at all. There's also like not 3 plates, it's like 4 plates of plastic, 2 for the rifles, and then basically 2 for the shield guard right here. Same thing as well here. Basically, the whole shield's just basically one whole shield along with the 2 pieces of plastic for the rifle. Overall, not bad. Going off from the rifles, we also have the launcher, the satellite cannon itself, multiple plastic pieces right here. Also, guard also has the I forget what you call this, the extender parts, basically allow it to move around so you can use it to fire and shoot. Overall, basically able to do multiple movements, left and right, no problem at all. And also this also carries the extra weapon too for the beam saber, the bigger beam saber. Forget its name. It's the one right here that goes with the beam, also with the beam blade as well. But you can just attach right here if the thing decides to ever go in. There we go. Actually right here. Fully attached, and that's actually pretty nice. I actually do like it when Bad Knight gives us beam effects that are kind of like this, over than just like the standard beam effects, which this one also carries another one just for the regular beam saber, which we'll see in a second. But I really do like the beam effects when they're kind of like these, like a little bit more output, like a little bit more powerful, kind of like with the Epion. Whenever I get my real grade Epion, or ever build the master grade one, I'm going to be honest, one of those two. Going from the satellite cannon with its basically beam saber, which we'll keep the beam saber in beam saber mode. On the back side too, for the attachment for the backpack, right here actually goes to the side for the backpack. I should already mention that. That's actually where you attach the weaponry. See right there, that's where you attach the blade and where he's able to pop it out, except this thing's actually a little bit more stuck in there. But you'll probably be thinking it's going to be the same as this one with the pinpoint, right? No, it's not. It's actually just a regular cylindrical one, so basically just a regular peg point right there. It just attaches on there, and boom, regular beam saber, so it can hold it into its hand, no problem at all. which I think is pretty great. I like the difference where this one where I actually had to take off the whole entire hand just so I can keep the hand in there, but yeah. And then last but not least, oh wait, we have the satellite backpack system, which connects to the backpack itself. This thing actually opens up, which we'll see right now in a second while I'm doing this open. This one does come with the stickers, which I actually did put on this, unlike with the other stickers on the body, because I was going to paint that in chrome. But I kind of did this because trying to do this kind of style is a little bit much more difficult. But I do like the reflectiveness of this. It basically is like a satellite system that just attaches to the backpack right here on top side right there. So just attach that right there. You're able to bend it all the way, I think. Somewhere. I forget where this gets attached onto this. Somewhere around there. There we go. And that gets attached onto the backpack like that. So it is supposed to bend a little bit more downward so it can like to have the backpack like how it should be, like an X right there, like see right that. And then you can close it back up so it can just be in multiple systems and just take it out when you need to. Oh, and then last but not least, like I was talking about with the attached parts on the shoulders, also it does come with weapon pods. Basically a 4-tube rocket launcher and a minigun right here. That basically can attach to any of the 4 points right here. So these can be fully removed and basically just attach these onto it. Overall, so basically you can give the Gundam X a whole lot more weaponry depending on you want all the weaponry on the left side or right side. The tubes will work just fine. So let me reattach the minigun right there and boom. Now it has the minigun on the left shoulder and weapon and rocket launcher pod on the right, well, still on the left too. But you can swap it out between left and right, no problem at all. But I think this is actually pretty great. Not gonna lie, I might buy another Gundam X Maoh. Just so I can do like multiple weapon pods for it and use another one for a custom. But yeah, that is it for everything the Gundam X Maoh comes with. Especially there's pretty good amount of weaponry. It's got weapon pods, it's got rifles and all that, pretty great. Now let's go with the articulation for it. And we're back. Now it's time to start with the articulation for the Gundam X Maoh. Starting off with the head, let's go a little bit much more close up right there. See right there. And like most Gundams, it's on a ball joint. So spin it around, no problem at all. Bob and weave, pretty good. That's how we want for most of our Gundams. Arm is actually on a ball joint, as like a lot of the Gundam Build Fighter kits, they're kind of, a lot of the ones that are kind of reused are kind of in between, still using like older joints or newer joints. The Gundam X Maoh, you'll see in a bit when I'm going through this articulation, it's kind of in between, using a lot of the newer joints, like with the ball joints on the arms, which is not bad at all. It's what we need for a lot of our Gundams, and still using like a lot of the older joints from the UC stuff for this, which is not bad at all. It can still rotate, no problem at all. It's got that weird joint leg thing right there, which is going out through there, which is not bad at all. I'm pretty sure this one's just a single joint here, but not bad at all. Still the ball joint on the arms, wrist, so basically just movement like that, so no problem at all. It's got this rear arm guard right here for the satellite system, no problem at all. And I was mentioning with the kind of like the upgrades, like a lot of the Gundam Build Fighter kits, if you ever built them, are kind of, a lot of them are in between, like going between the upgrades for like the modern model kits between like 2012 2014, like where it started with the project with the Strike and the Wing Gundam. What's called the Gundam X Maoh that actually does have the ab joint right there. You can see right there. I can see right there. This where has the ball joint right there, so I can have ab joint right there. You can see right there, no problem at all, which is pretty good. Kind of wish a lot of Gundams would have this, and also has the ball joint, so I can actually spin around its leg a little bit. Though I'm not gonna lie, this is actually kind of. There we go. So it was a little bit stucker, but now it could spin. But yeah, that's actually pretty good with the ball joints being there to give it ab joints, which is a lot of times older kits don't have, which is always good. Side skirts are still kind of older. They're kind of like this, they're like on the peg point, so just got them sliding on the side if you want a little bit more movement. Side skirts can go forward, but not too much. And like I was talking about, this thing is in between. The legs are still on ball joints, so can't do full split as I want to, but that's as far as I'm able to go without trying to break it. You can do this kind of split if you want, no problem at all. It's able to do that kind of split, like forward split. It can't do like side split, but it can do forward splits, which is actually pretty nice, because actually the side skirt or the back skirt doesn't affect it too much. Legs are kind of on that also weird joint too, because it's kind of like older UC kits sometimes have like weird joints. So the knees are actually not bad at all. It's kind of almost on a double joint knee, but not too much. but still able to go down as much as that, as far as we can go there. Leg is kind of blocked by the armor, but still able to do some movement. Able to wiggle around. Able to go back and forth, no problem at all. But because of the knee armor right here, it's not able to spin around as much as I wanted to. Because technically it should be able to, but because of the armor here, it's kind of blocking it. But overall, articulation isn't bad. It's able to do as much as it can. The ball joints on the legs kind of do block from doing most of the splits, but it's still a pretty decent kit for articulation. It's able to do pretty good movements. That's is what we want for a lot of our model kits. It's able to do most of it. Actually, right here, it's actually pretty good. It's decently good for poses, which is not bad at all. Okay, now with out of the way, let's go with size comparisons with other kits that I have lying around. And we're back and with doing some size comparisons. By itself, actually, the Gundam X Maoh is actually a little bit under the 5-inch mark. For a lot of times, the Gundam's like almost there. It's like at 4.8, 4.9, which is not that bad. That's usually like right around the same size most Gunpla should be around, like 5 inches. And starting out was basically the other one that technically started out, although not this one technically speaking, but it did technically follow because it is technically the revive. It was my perfect strike, though right now it's in semi-strike mode, which is actually slightly taller than the regular Gundam X. Actually, that's the thing that I kind of realized with Gundam X versus some of the other Gunpla. I kind of feel like the Gundam X and a lot of the X series model kits are actually slightly smaller, with the strike being at least above the 1.5 inches, which is not bad at all. But for me personally, the Gundam X, you can see between both of them, you can see how it's like a little bit much more smaller, much more tinier. Kind of like a lot of the wing kits, where they're basically size and show kind of relates to their model kits too, where they're going to be slightly smaller than regular model kits, like with the strike you see right here. Now going from the strike, we have another model kit from the Gundam Build Fighter as well. We have My Amazing X here, which I have said before a lot of times, depending on like a lot of the 00 kits, are usually either between small or big, but usually a little bit much more bigger. As we've seen before with my Gundam Estrella custom. A lot of times being slightly smaller was a lot of times, or usually around the 5-inch mark, so we usually see right here. But the Gundam X being just slightly taller. I kind of feel like it's more because Gundam X, like body parts, like a little bit more different size and whatnot. Yeah, with the Xia being a little bit just slightly more taller, but also there's also because I feel like the my Amazing Xia has a little bit much more stuff onto it right now because of Sword and Shield versus the Gundam X Maoh, which basically just right now is just basically in base mode right now. But going from the Gundam X here, so we got another Gundam Build Fighters kit with my Gem Sniper K9, which I will get around to doing this review one of these days. It's also actually one of my favorite sniper units, one of my favorite sniper unit designs here, with the Gem Sniper K9 being slightly taller, at around like 5.5, only because of its antenna right now, but it's still bigger than the Gundam X Maoh. As I already said this a lot of times before, I kind of feel like with the Gundam X Maoh, or like some of the Gundam X kits, with the wing kits, are going to be slightly smaller, comparably to a lot of the other kits too. I should get another UC kit as well with my Zeta Gundam, which I actually will do the review for the Zeta Gundam too. It is actually the Revive Zeta Gundam right here, which I will do the review for this one of these days. But we're going to go with kind of almost UC kit because Gundam X is technically alter UC for those who've watched the show and whatnot. But overall, the Zeta Gundam being still slightly taller, with the Zeta Gundam being around 5.5 to almost 6 inches, or 6.5 if we're going to go with the shielded weaponry. But overall, pretty still decent size. That should go with the giant kit, another UC kit too. Technically speaking, was the Sinanju Stein, which we can't even see at all. Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. I had to adjust the camera because, my god, I forget the Sinanju Stein. Along with, like, when I do the review for my figures, Perfect Cell tend to be a whole lot more bigger than I usually think. With the Sinanju Stein being, like, around 6.5, 6.25, depending on where sources are at. Dwarfing the Gundam X Maoh really a lot. But you can see basically different size, especially with a lot of Xeon kits being way more bigger than they need to be. Talking about more technically bigger kits, especially from UC, we have my Narrative Gundam Type C, which I'll do the review for this one as well. With the narrative being only slightly smaller just because it's not that big, but it is part of the new family, and it's actually around 6 inches. This is actually the difference between Gundam model kits. A lot of times they're going to be around the 5-inch mark, which is where their base, what they usually be at. Then there's going to be other model kits that are going to be around 6, 7, 8 inches. And I'm talking about mainly high grades, but also because a lot of times they get reflected by how their real life size or their in show size versus how we see them perceived in model kit form. A lot of times that we do see this a lot. And going from my narrative gun to another slightly tall model kit, my Barbados Lupus. And you're not gonna like going through a lot of my main protagonist Gundams. I'm starting to see right now the Gundam X Maoh being actually very, very small. I actually need to see. I need to find what my wing Gundams I actually compare this to, if I can find them. And before we finish this off, actually let's go with its rival and the one who ended up defeating it in the tournament during the show events. Right now I'm going to build fighters. We have my Starbolt Strike, which I will do a review of this, but this one will be actually a whole big review because I have to find all the particle effect parts because the Starbolt Strike is the original model kit one. I do have the one where I build it up with all the extra parts too. I kind of want to do that for the whole video for later down the line. But I can see the side comparison between both the regular Starbolt Strike and the Gundam X. Kind of do feel like the Gundam X is a little bit much more smaller in size now overall. And then last, but certainly not least, my Gundam Estrella custom, and now has lost its beef end. Great. That's gonna be something I'm gonna have to find right now. Just gonna have to ignore it, folks. Never mind. End up finding the beef end. Just gotta reattach this back on there. Note to self: grab some putty and stick it on there so my Gundam Estrella doesn't lose his beef end at all. With actually both the gun, it's actually kind of fun because you guys should see the difference right here. That both the Gundam X and the this is actually very weird when it actually comes to the size because what's cold, most of them are around relatively same size. With the Gundam Estrella basically just being not too much when it comes to body, with its like parts like its shoulder armors, whatnot, not too spiky like we saw with the Gundam X here. But overall, not bad at all. Size comparisons, the Gundam X actually is pretty nice. Little tiny model kit. Now, without further ado, let's go with the final size for the model kit. And with that, that is it for the review for the Gundam X Maoh. Overall, pretty nice model kit. A good amount of accessories with its 2 cannons, 2 beam sabers, satellite cannon itself, the multiple weapon pods, the 2 weapon pods that we get, the satellite system in the backside. Overall, pretty great. Very small, tiny model kit. Articulation is not bad at all. So I was able to get a good amount of movement. The arms is perfectly fine. It does have that M crunch, as we should need for Mike model kits. Still have that ball joints for the legs, but that's pretty fine. It still has a good amount of leg articulation despite that. And overall, aesthetically, it looks pretty great. I actually do kind of like the Gundam X Maoh over the regular Gundam X because of the upgrades that Maoh did to it, with modifying it to basically bring out the full system, the satellite system for it, which I actually do kind of like. And overall, pretty nice model kit. I didn't remember the price for this, like around 15, 16 bucks back in the day when this came out. Nowadays, I do not sure. Unless you go through a website, like Gundam Model Kit website, like I recommended all the way in a couple videos back when I was doing one of my reviews. But overall, pretty nice model kit. And if you do see it on the shelves or online, I do recommend getting it. It's actually a pretty nice model kit. And a good collection, a good model kit to your collection. Especially if you do like UC, especially if you do like Gundam Build Fighters, and you're a fan of the show, I do recommend it. But without further ado, folks, that is it for this review. If you did like it, consider dropping a like, share, and subscribe. I always do appreciate it, folks. And as always, have a nice day. This is I, Power, signing out, and I'll see you guys on the next one.